Hello, my viewers. Emperor Star here, and today we're going to talk about how the 390 Light Challenge of the Elders is pointless in Destiny. One of the things Bungie did to the Challenge of the Elders is that they increased the height of from the original 320 Light Challenge of the Elders to 390. It operates the same as the 320 Prisoner of Elders, but with higher light enemies. To compensate for this, Bungie moved all of the loot that you would be getting from the 320 Challenge of the Elders to the 390 Challenge of the Elders, meaning that you can now get loot that is 390 light and above in accordance to your light level. Okay, that sounds good. I mean, one of the things that Bungie didn't want to do is make the Challenge of the Elders irrelevant, and it gives you more of a reason to grind it out again if that didn't tickle your fancy. And if you love a challenge, then you're gonna like the 390 Challenge of the Elders. Okay, that's good. So why am I saying that it is pointless? Well, I'm just gonna get right to the chase that it's not completely pointless. I'm just gonna defend this for a little bit, just so I can let you guys know why it's not completely pointless. Because for a lot of people, it's probably not pointless. So I'm just gonna defend it real quick. It allows you to get loot that is 390 light and above. So if you're someone who has been trying to get to 400 light and you haven't yet, you're a new player and you wanted an activity to do so that you can get the best loot, then you're going to enjoy it. You can get the Queen's exotics if you haven't gotten them yet for over a year. The original way to get them from year 1 was to do the level 34 35 Prisoner of Elders and get an Elder Cipher and complete the quest for that. The other way you could get them in year 2 320 Challenge of the Elders was if you just played it and you just got them for random drops. So you didn't have to go through the Elder Cipher way, or loot farming way. So why am I saying that it is pointless? Well, mainly because there's no real new loot that's really been added to the Challenge of the Elders. And I'm going to explain to you why that is the case. Because in the past, what a lot of people have been asking for is that Bungie continuously increase the amount of loot that you can earn in these activities. Remember the Vanguard strikes? The incentive to doing the regular Vanguard strikes from year 1 specifically is that if you were lucky enough, you had a chance to get a strike exclusive weapon. The same thing could be said about the 320 Prisoner of Elders. Back then, when the Taken King released, that really didn't happen until like after April in 2016, when they released their first big content update in 2016. This is before the Rise of Iron came out. That they decided to update some of the old content. The Prisoner of Elders was one of them. They increased the regular Prisoner of Elders, which was like the regular one where you would go through 4 rounds and beat a boss at the end, like you did in normal original level 28 through level 34. You would do some challenges, you would get some loot, and if you had a Queen's Key, you can open up the cache below when you can beat it, and you can get a piece of good gear. Here. But when the Taken King released, that content was made irrelevant. Of course, and then in April of 2016, they updated the Prisoner of the Elders, and added the score attack, which is now known as the Challenge of the Elders. They did this so that players would have more of a reason to come back, and they even added in new weapons into the April update. They had new, differently updated weapons. He added newly updated weapons that function differently from the year 1 Wolves weapons, which are the weapons you can get from either getting them in the chest below when you complete it, or by getting it from barracks through a cipher or a random drop. And now the way you get Wolves weapons, now not Queen's weapons, is that you have to basically rank up your Challenge of the Elders reputation. You can still do that now, and still get the weapons, and now they will come in accordance to your light level like they do right now, to 400 up to 400 light. Hey, so that's where the positives for this end, and mainly because there's just not a lot of loot that people are going for. Like, I've talked to my friends, and I've talked to a lot of other people who say that they don't do Challenge of the Elders anymore because it is pointless. And for the most part, I agree with them. I don't blame them. Like, I barely play Challenge of the Elders anymore unless it's like a really easy modifier. And the reason I say this is because there's not any new loot that's been added to Challenge of the Elders. So why is this the big problem? Well, mainly because there's no reason to play Challenge of the Elders. When Bungie announced the Age of Triumph, I actually assumed that they were going to add back a bunch of Year 1 weapons and loot and armor back into the game as a sign that this would keep players around for more often. They did this with the raids. They added in a bunch more weapons. They actually added the elemental variants from Year 1 as exotic weapons, and now they also have the legendary variants with just kinetic damage. And the reason why I give this example is because there's a reason to play the raid again, not only because that loot is really desirable, like it's been desirable for a very long time, but there's a reason to play. If you just didn't want to do the challenges in the raid and get the elemental weapons, you can still get the normal weapon variants from completing the engagements, and you can still get good loot even though you're not doing the challenges. That is not the case with the Prison of Elders, and the reason why I say this, I'll say it again, is that there's no really new loot or old loot that has been remade for this activity. Like, think about what you thought of the Prison of Elders remade in 2016 when Challenge of the Elders was first introduced with the score attack system. It was new, and more importantly, the weapons from this were desirable. A lot of people went after them, and a lot of people were playing Prison of the Elders. And now a year later, no one is playing it. No one is really playing it now. Well, I wouldn't say anyone is not playing it, but a lot of people are not playing it anymore. And mainly because there's the loot that was added in 2016 is not as desirable as it had been in Year 1. And mainly because we got sick and tired of grinding for the same loot over and over and over again. And the reason why Challenge of the Elders was desirable was mainly because it was new. And that's the thing about Challenge of the Elders that is really disappointing, and why I say the 390 is pointless. There is no reason to go back and play when you've already gotten the loot from this activity. Even though, like, I'm still someone who's still trying to get all the Wolves weapons, mainly because I find it to be kind of enjoyable. I find those weapons still to be good, and I still want to go after them. But for a lot of other people, there's no reason to do this activity again. And that's because there's no new weapons added. I actually was hoping that when the Age of Triumph released, that they were going to introduce old weapons back into the Prison of Elders. That's just not the case. Like, even though, I'm gonna actually go back to 2015, when the House of Wolves released, even though the Wolves weapons, when people picked them up, were really generic, they were pretty average weapons, they were okay for some people. Like, not everyone liked them, but they are still new weapons that people would go out and get. The same as for the Queen's weapons. People grinded out the Queen's Wrath and the Prison of Elders to get a chance at these weapons and armor pieces that were so desirable. So the real problem is that because there really hasn't been any innovation made to this game mode for over a year, it's gone stale there's no reason why anyone would want to play this activity anymore. Or, I don't know why Bungie didn't update this like they did and when they remade it back in 2016. And what's really sad about this is that even though it's 390 Lite, it's completely irrelevant for a lot of people. It's not completely irrelevant, but it's just not really fun, and it's not really, there's no prime incentive to play. Another thing that why I say it's pointless is mainly because of the amount of time that it takes for you to grind out the House of Judgment reputation. I don't know what Bungie was thinking when they were designing the bounties for the Prison of Elders, but one thing that they did, and I didn't know this was a thing, but I'm actually going to go back to the Gunsmith as an example. When the Gunsmith was first introduced into the Taken King, those field test weapons you can get from it, those field test weapons would allow you to get 250 reputation to, and then when you ranked up, you would get, after rank 2, you would start to get class-specific weapons, and anything after that, you would still get weapons that were exclusive to the Gunsmith. That's it. What they did with them now is that they sped that process up by increasing the amount of reputation you can get from 250 to either 500 or 600, which made you rank up even faster. And I actually recently went back and used those field test weapons, and in 1 week, in less than 20 minutes, that would normally take you 2 weeks, I actually got 3 more weapons that were exclusive to the Gunsmith, and they are really great weapons. The thing about Prison of the Elders is that not only does it take forever to grind, but the rewards you get for grinding out those bounties is insignificant. And anyway, you'll only get 250 reputation for completing those bounties. And it takes about 3,000. It will take 3,000 points to rank up and get to the next rank. So unless you're grinding out Challenge of the Elders like 15 times, if you haven't done so, there's really no reason for you to really grind out. It will just take forever, and it's pretty tedious work to do so. Mainly because it's the same thing over and over and over again. And the Challenge of the Elders is a tedious grind. That's really what it is. It's a tedious grind that really not a lot of people are going to do, and because they don't find this game to be desirable, well, they're just not going to even bother with the weapons. Or just grind out the reputation just to get another Wolves weapon. And if they increased it with increase the rewards with the bounties, or at least giving you like some kind of weapon every time you did these activities, that would be an incentive to play for people who haven't really done this yet, or people who want a challenge, or an incentive to play this. That's just not the case with the Challenge of the Elders, and I'm still going to be doing the Challenge of the Elders. I'll still grind out. I've been soloing these for a while now, but it's just not going to be, pretty much any incentive for me to do so other than just grind it out, get to the high score, and have a chance of getting 2 weapons. What Bungie needed to do is give people more of an incentive to play this content again. Add year 1 weapons, and you add year 1 weapons back into this, like the Wolves Leash, the Aegis of Kel, and that would have really given players an incentive to play the content again. And they weren't the most desirable pieces of loot, but for people who want to use these pieces of loot again, they're just going to grind out the regular level 28 Prison of Elders, which is something that not a lot of people are doing. Granted, there are great weapons that have been added into that activities loot table. There's no reason to really do it because the light level is too low that people just cannot use them in PvE. sure, they're great in PvP, but for people who are not interested in PvP, they're not really going to be incentivized to go after those weapons. It's great that Bungie made it up by remaking the raids, and I have a lot of fun with the raids. In fact, in my last video, I loved doing that content. I was actually expressing my opinion that I love the raids. But think about this. Once those raids are done, once those raids are completed, what are you really gonna do? Oh, sorry, the audio kind of cut out at the 15-minute mark. So what I'm trying to say is like, the way they could have fixed this is that they could have like increased the reward you can get for completing the bounties, or added it back the weapons that you can get through completing the bounties, or at least give you a chance to get those weapons again in a separate loot table, or just add them in with Varrix's already existing weapons, so that there's more of an incentive to play. This is pointless. That is why, guys, I say that the 390 Lite Challenge of the Elders is pointless. Is that there's no incentive to play, there's no reason to play this, and more importantly, why did they do this if they weren't going to add in any more substantial loot? It's okay. I'm happy that they made this loot relevant, so you would get it at 400, or you can get to 400 Lite. But for a lot of people, not a lot of people are going to be playing this. So that's all I want to say about this, because I actually thought about this for a while, about why my friends would say that they thought this was pointless, and I'm one of those people who thinks it's kind of pointless. It's not completely pointless if you're trying to go after the wolves' weapons, but for a lot of people, this was pretty much a disappointing aspect of the Challenge of the Age of Triumph. Age of Triumph. I'm sorry, I'm kind of new to this. Yes, I slur my voice sometimes. That is one of the most disappointing aspects about the Challenge of the Elders at 390 Lite. I just don't like how you're not really rewarded with any new loot into the game, and there's no reason to play. Hey, we need loot that is going to keep people on, and we need loot that will give people a reason to play. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, that's the end. I'm actually cutting it to a 17 minutes and 30-second video, so I'm just going to say this. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, if you did enjoy the video, let me know. Leave a comment, and subscribe. I will be sharing this on Twitter, and I will be sending this out to some people to give me more advice on my commentary. If you do think that the Challenge of the Elders isn't pointless, let me know down in the comment section below. And please share this video with others if you haven't done so already. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.